Man, it's been so long since I've introed a podcast. Jeez Louise.
We're gonna embarrass Jack and Chris. It's gonna
I
be
know,
great.
right? It's like, oh, Asees is back and Ryan's back. Oh no, Asees is hosting. Oh, let's Caleb's here. We like Caleb's. That's good. This is part of
Last
the
time
next
I was on,
generation.
I was like Atrociraptor. I'm like another made up name, and then
Dude, we got
me
lit
thinking that I
up.
know shit about dinosaurs, and then in the comment section, people are like, Ryan, Atrociraptor's real. I was like, okay.
We got lit up. Caleb, I hope you know more than dinosaurs than we do, man. Welcome to InGeneral, episode 101. That's right, folks, episode 101. We have finally crossed the barrier, crossed the threshold that's been haunting Jurassic Outpost and InGeneral for years at this point, honestly. 101. But because of the special occasion, we have the next best thing. We got Ryan and we got Caleb.
Hey,
What's up? What's up?
Guys, Generation Jurassic, are we going? What's the pulse on that?
well, I'm still to be determined, but I would love to go. It sounds like a fantastic time. And thanks, Asees, for having us on the podcast, even though we're not Jack and Chris. I like to come on the pod at least once a year, so let's do.
If you think about it now, he's made 2 appearances this year, so the next natural step would be for Ryan to come down to LA. It's only natural.
Mhm.
It's a progression,
But yeah.
evolution, if you will.
Totally.
Last time we were all down was the 25th anniversary, and that was dope AF, and I would love to do it again. So
Of course.
I do have my pass, so if I don't end up going, I'll have to probably give that to someone, because Universal was like, if you don't end up going, could you send that to us and let us know? Like they made it like kind of known that it's limited and it's special. So if you don't go, they want to know to save those for people who can't. So
I think Universal
Yeah.
underestimated the kind of like the fan outcry for a live event, especially after the pandemic where people have been stuck inside for years. The fact that we have an opportunity in LA to go and do another Jurassic event all together, especially on the eve of a brand new movie, the atmosphere is going to be very exciting. I know it was for Jurassic Park 25th. Caleb, how are you feeling about this event? Will you be going firstly? And if you are, what's the thing you're most excited about?
Yeah. Thanks, Asees, for having me on.
wait, stop.
always.
Asees, why are you being so proper? Why?
I feel attacked, folks. What do you mean?
No, we're starting you're trying too hard right now. Everybody who's listening right now is like, they're like, who the hell?
All right, folks, here's behind the scenes. When I used to do the podcast last time I was host, this is before I was an adult. Now I became an adult. I pay taxes. I have to go to 9 to 5. I have to go to work. I gotta pay rent, things like that. The life force just gets out of you after a while, So hopefully his vacation will
Sure.
we'll fix that, right? Is that good?
Yeah, it's just, I love it when Jack and Chris are gone. Asees rises to the occasion. I just love how he rises up. It's just like, it's like this whole different level of Asees. Like,
Hey, we just had Easter. Asees has risen. He's risen.
I have risen, guys. It's the new version of me. I'm a lot more reserved, less hair, a little bit taller probably in some ways. But it's been interesting. It'll be good to see you guys. Caleb.
sorry,
back to the
Caleb. Yeah,
question.
go ahead.
You will be going, Ryan.
Yes,
You're gonna be
yes.
going to LA too. I know you will. I'm gonna convince you. I'm gonna hound you with messages. Don't
We'll see.
worry. Caleb, I don't think we've met. Well, you were not at Jurassic Park 25, were you? This was before you moved out to the West Coast, correct?
Yeah, I live on the West Coast now, but I didn't then, and I was actually in LA like right after JP25. Like I had
Right.
already planned that trip, and like I couldn't. The JP25 like came up so fast that I like couldn't make accommodations that quickly, so I wasn't able to go. But like, yeah, I was in LA a couple weeks later. But yeah, that's why I'm really excited for Generation Jurassic, is because like I finally get to go to a Jurassic event. So yeah,
Exactly.
and I don't think I've met either of you in person. We've talked a lot, but yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting everybody.
I thought you were in Philly though. Did you not?
No,
were you out
I
in
didn't get
Philly
to go to
at the
Philly either.
event?
I
This will be your
know.
first event, then,
I
first
thought
Jurassic
for
event.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah. So
So what are you expecting, Caleb, for someone like yourself who's experiencing a Jurassic event in person for the first time with a large group of Jurassic Park fans, specifically fans who are going to the park for that occasion? What's the thing you're most looking forward to? You would think.
I mean, especially over the last few years, like I've like Twitter is kind of my favorite social media app, and that's because
Sure.
like I use it to talk to Jurassic people. Like that's the primary use of that. And so like this is going to be sort of like that happening in real life. It's just going to be like hanging out and just enjoying something that everybody there loves, and like seeing stuff about Dominion and stuff about toys and like all that kind of stuff. So I'm super excited.
See, that's the thing. That was like the big thing for me as well. One of the big contributing factors for me going to these events is like you mentioned, the community is just so much fun to be around, to engage with, and the fact that you get to do this on a personal level, and after seeing someone behind a screen for so long, being able to
Mm-hmm.
interact with them face to face, it's a different level of communication. And honestly, I it is kind of the reason the Jurassic Park franchise for me is still so important, is because of the community that it's kind of fostered. As you see on Twitter, there's more and more people joining the groups, even Jurassic Outpost, because look how it's grown from Jack and myself to Chris to Ryan, Alex, and you guys now. This is getting bigger. The community is like a big, beautiful thing, which is part of the reason why I want Ryan to come. Where get the Outpost group back together for the first time. It's been a while. But speaking of Dominion, you touched on it. Do you guys think we'll be seeing any sort of Dominion content other than toys, like perhaps footage? Maybe Colin might stop by. What do you guys think is Universal's kind of main goal with Dominion here? Because it is very close to release too.
I, knowing from the last experience, Universal, bless their hearts, are very like they fly off the seat of their pants. I mean, even working with them on a professional freelance level, with deadlines, there have been things that change so rapidly with them that they're so quick to be able to either contribute or grab or attain asset wise. And by asset, I can't promise anything, and I don't mean dinosaur asset in that regard. But there were some surprises with the last event that we knew came about very last minute, as in terms of
Yes.
like special guests. We didn't know Laura Dern was going to be there. There was a few other surprises as well. So I can't promise anything because I have no idea, but I would not be surprised if we saw maybe a cast member. Don't know who that might be. Can't say if it would be old. Can't say if it would be new. Could be a possibility. Maybe. Could be just one. Could be two. Might be none. Uh,
But you think they're going to go the cast
but
member route and have someone from the movie there to kind of hype up the event, if you will?
you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Universal called any one of the cast members the week of the
Oh, the day
event and just
before
said, "Hey,
even.
are you going to be around?" Yeah, or just like, "Are you going to be around this Thursday night? Can you come by the Universal lot, do a little
Yeah, we need you
special
for like 10 minutes. Just like come on stage and like say hello and leave. It's all good. Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they
Totally.
all,
So I mean, it could be like,
yeah, I mean, they all kind of live down the street because it's LA. So,
Exactly. So there's no reason
yeah,
not to at this point.
yeah.
Especially for a Jurassic event. You
yeah,
got to
like, are
bring
you
Chris
free?
Pratt. How crazy would the crowd go? Because when Laura Dern came out, I think it's safe to say people lost their minds. I know I did. It was like we had no idea.
Yeah.
How cool would it be if Bryce Dallas Howard came out on screen? Because I think honestly, the person for the face, like the face of the Jurassic World franchise, it might be Chris Pratt to people, but it's really clear is like Bryce Dallas Howard is like the main character of the stories. Colin said this multiple times in interviews too. It's about her arc in a way, and especially with the recent rise of Bryce Dallas Howard's like kind of directing skills with like with Star Wars and things like that. I would love to see her on screen because I would go just as crazy for Bryce Dallas Howard as I did for like Laura Dern. So Caleb, what do you hope to see in terms of Jurassic World Dominion things at this event?
I gotta echo what you said, which is that like any chance I get, I tell friends or people that like the Jurassic World franchise is Claire's story. It's like it's Bryce Dallas
Absolutely.
Howard's thing, and I also tell people that she's sort of mirroring sort of the John Hammond story too, which makes it cool.
Sure.
But with that said, like I would
Hmm.
absolutely love to see her at this event or something like that, and like it would be regardless of if that happens, like I think it would be cool and a good thing for Universal to do to like, you know, present Bryce Dallas Howard as like the face of all of this, especially like if she's going to be involved in the franchise in the future and stuff like
Yeah, of
that. Just
course.
like get
Perhaps directing.
get her as the true lead in people's mind. But also just I feel kind of the same way as Ryan, honestly. Like I have no idea, but I do think there are gonna be probably some things that are unexpected, and it's gonna be really fun. Like could be a cast member or it could be something else. I don't know. So
Well, honestly, I wouldn't mind some footage because I know the 25th anniversary they played the first 5 minutes or the intro for Fallen Kingdom, and I know us personally, we went crazy for that piece of footage. We had to leave the cinema literally immediately and go into a like kind of like a huddle outside the cinema. It was really weird. If you think about it, we're just in the middle of a hallway talking about the footage we were seeing, just screaming. It's really weird, but I hope to see either some footage or I wouldn't since it is a Mattel event as well. We have to remember that I could honestly see them bringing in maybe a maquette or some sort of maybe smaller sized animatronic from the movie. I know it's a small chance outside the like kind of the box kind of too, but
Mm.
it does give Mattel a chance to talk about like the process of how they took the maquette version of the film version of a dinosaur and turned it into a toy. I think that'd be pretty cool. But we'll find out more on the 28th of August, rapidly approaching. So if you're listening to this before the date, the event is on the 28th at 7:30, I believe, until 10:30 after the park closes. Unfortunately, tickets are now booked, but Universal may open up spots. We'll see. No promises on that. We'll find out more in the next coming days. But speaking of maquettes, guys, and dinosaurs and sculptures, perhaps. Fangoria. Caleb, I know you picked up the new Fangoria magazine that has a spread on Jurassic World Dominion, specifically their animatronics and the dinosaurs that will be seen in the movie. I think Ryan and I have also seen some pictures from this, but Caleb, could you just quickly go through what the magazine kind of is like and what kind of impressions you got from the dinosaurs that you saw? And he has it in his hand. Look at this, well prepared,
oh yeah,
guys.
right here.
Outpost, well prepared.
So yeah,
So
the cover
nice.
has the Giganotosaurus looking menacing, kind of in the Fangoria sort of logo on the front. Seems like it's made out of amber, maybe. I don't know
Ooh,
if that's
final
like
touch.
officially what it is, but yeah. Um, and yeah, on the front it says "Humans are history, Jurassic World Dominion."
Really play up the extinction angle. I like this. I like this.
Yeah, I like it too. 'Cause like I don't know about y'all, but I hope the dinosaurs win in Jurassic World Dominion. I hope they
Oh
win.
no, all the humans gone?
I don't know.
Playing
Maybe like a few left. I don't know. Um, no. So the main title of the article or the piece about the animatronics I thought was cool. It says "Clay Among the Pixels: The Practical
That's
Magic
some
of."
philosophical stuff.
Yeah, it says the practical magic of Jurassic World Dominion. And got some great shots of the Dilophosaurus animatronic here. Um, John Nolan with Pyroraptor and the Dilophosaurus and a gigantic locust, I believe it is, back there in the background. There's
Oh yeah, the
images
locust
of them sculpting these animatronics. The coolest thing to me in this entire thing is the Giganotosaurus animatronic.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now too, Caleb. Like this thing is absolutely massive. The
It is
detail on it, too.
huge, yeah. Like,
This has to be one of the biggest animatronics, just head size wise, at least, that I think might have been in the franchise. Maybe the T Rex or the Spinosaurus outweighs it, but like this thing is massive. Like Ryan, what are your thoughts on the Giganotosaurus's animatronic?
So okay, my I just want to clarify, like I still consider myself, everyone feels like they're the most important.
Oh
They're not.
no, where's he
I'm
going with
most-
this? Place?
the number one like Jurassic Park fan, but I will admit, like I have not been following Dominion nearly as
Right.
much as I did even Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World, and that's not because of my lack of interest. It's just because like I've got so much going on in my life, like
Life gets in the
dad
way.
stuff and
Yeah.
art stuff and life stuff. So like, and with this, it's been actually a little bit more fun to kind of take a step back and not know as
Sure.
much, and even and not think about it as much. So, question number one: is it the same practical effects company? I forgot who it is, but whoever's been doing the first two
I
movies.
believe the company is different
Um,
this time. I think
it
it's Neil
is.
Scanlon was the second person. I think it's a John Nolan in
Yeah,
the studio
Scanlon.
for the
Thank
third
you.
one.
Yeah, this effects
Okay.
studio is the one who did the Dark Crystal on Netflix.
Ah, yes.
So
Oh, interesting.
So they have a good like
Because I've
work filmography, if you will.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say for me, the first thing that I noticed is like, and not to be like snobbish in terms of like Stan Winston, but
Okay.
like, my God, dude, like you look at some of Stan Winston's work even 30 years ago, like when they created Summit Draft, and like the detail that they put on the animatronics is just like insane, especially with the maquettes and like the sculptures and like in like the articulation, and especially with um oh my God, I should know his name because he's one of my idols,
John
but
Rosenberg,
what's his, oh my God, the
John Bell.
artist's drawings, um
Oh no, Modern Names, Caleb. It's up to you now, Modern Names.
I mean,
no, see, this is what happens when I take
John Bell is the one that I was gonna say because he's
I
the
was gonna say, yeah, I don't know anyone
yeah.
else.
maybe it's John, maybe no, I'm thinking Star Wars, not McQuarrie.
Not
That's
McQuarrie,
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
welcome to Star Wars podcast,
Yeah,
by the way.
okay,
That's
thank
going
you.
back soon too.
God, dude, now I'm getting my franchises mixed up. But what I've noticed is like there are like with the Dilophosaurus, I know how that sculpt looks. I know how that original design looks, and there are slight variations with and Neil Scanlon's company too. Like, there's small differences in how it looks, and I think some purists might want it to look original, but at the same time, no two animals necessarily look the same, right? Like if you're looking at two different cheetahs, if you're looking at two, like there's subtle differences
sure.
between the two. So like I can kind of see it in that regard. It's for some reason it's like we only saw one Dilophosaurus, so I want every Dilophosaurus to look like that.
That's a good point.
But like Jurassic World Evolution and like the sculpture and model that they do in that looks almost to the T to the original Stan Winston. So with like the one that's screaming in Claire's face has like a little bit of a different. I can't. Chris would be here, be telling you like, oh, it's the differentiation in the eyebrows and the
It's the
and
eyes.
and the nostrils are
Should have been
and they had
CG.
serrated edges. Yeah, but in terms of like the overall designs, like it sounds like they're just pumping out a lot too, because we all know that with this movie there's a shit ton of dinosaurs, which I wholly appreciate, and overall the designs of them have looked fantastic. And to answer the question, coming full circle, the Giganotosaurus, however you pronounce it, looks amazing. It's such a badass looking dinosaur, and I'm so happy that it's not a hybrid, and that we're not even talking about hybrids. Like I was never like anti-hybrid. It's just like this just kind of feels like we're going back to the originals where it's just dinosaurs.
You don't need a
Like
hybrid every time.
even though all the yeah, I mean, and they're all hybrids, and
Sure.
they're all in their own way,
Yeah.
right? We really kind of found that out with this new franchise, like how much different DNA is incorporated. But you know what I mean? Like they're not like so. Yeah, in terms of like the overall animatronics, they look amazing, and like in that one shot that shows the two comparisons of the T-Rex from '93 doing the roar with the Giga doing the same thing. And I don't know if it's practical effects or if it's CGI, but like you can see like the cheeks flapping as the Giga's
The end
roaring,
shot, if you will, yeah.
and
Oh,
it's
feature X-ray, yes.
that looks cool. And if that's a practical effect, if they're able to like do that sort of like vibration with the sound resonation from the roar in a practical manner, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, I
that's
think
excellent.
I, if I'm not mistaken, Jack cut the video of the two together, and I mean they're both animatronics, I think, which is and like
Mm-hmm.
they both just look so realistic and incredible. So
The fact that the animatronic we'll talk about the featurette in a little bit here as well, but the fact that the animatronic is just so good at the end, it's partly because I think I don't know a lot about like the technical aspects of these things, but maybe because it's at night, it's hard to see and things like that. But the fact that it's so hard to tell if it's like, is it CGI, is it animatronic, is it a mix of both, and the fact that everyone is still talking about those things, but everyone comes together with the fact that despite what it actually is, it looks incredible and sounds really cool as well.
mhm.
So it feels like
Mm-hmm.
John Nolan's team is kind of like they're taking what Jurassic Park did and kind of upping it in terms of technical aspects. Like if you said, Ryan, if they got the nose nostrils moving while the animatronic is roaring and things like that, like that's the next step of what you'd expect to see. Caleb, you have the magazine still. Like, what else kind of stood out to you while you were going through this thing?
Just the sheer number of animatronics, honestly, like there are so many. Like I was mostly impressed that like they made the decision to make animatronics for so many dinosaurs, because that certainly, I mean, we've built up to this as far as like the number of animatronics and the number of dinosaurs. So a really cool thing.
Well, shout out like
Oh,
God.
you're good.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to give a shout out to Colin because, dude, like, thank God he advocated for animatronics in the first film, and like, right, we only got the Apatosaurus. Like, that was the
Right.
only
I think Colin fought for it too.
real. They made some other ones, but like, I'm just so happy that he pushed for that, and that we got it more in the second Fallen Kingdom, and now here we are. So anyway,
No, like
sorry.
the Jurassic franchise, like people know it for its effects. Like that's one big thing that people know it for. So it's like I'm really glad that we're continuing that sort of legacy, sort of. But what I was gonna say was at the end of the Fangoria article, there's a 2-page spread that is welcome to Jurassic merch, and it just has all the merchandise from the 90s, like the McDonald's cups and the Sega Genesis games.
God, I would
and
love to get my hands on some
the Topps trading cards and the watches from Burger King and all of this stuff. It's really cool that they included that in there. So
it's a cool touch. I know the Topps
Hell
is
yeah.
coming back with some sort of like annual thing from the first movie, like a full set of the cards. I believe it is. That's going to be a cool thing because I had some of them as a kid. So
yeah.
going back and experiencing those as an adult now, it's going to be a fun time. But guys, speaking of fun times, we know how much fun time we'll have. See, guys, I told you we're coming back.
Your transitions are on point
Yes.
today.
They're so bad that they're getting back to the being bad. We're getting there.
Yeah.
But guys, we got the runtime for Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah.
And like I wanted to say, I know I said it on the last podcast, I was very worried about the runtime and the movie feeling too like choppy and things being cut out. But now we know, guys, 2 hours, 26 minutes, 57 seconds. That includes the credits. So guys, 2 hours, 26 minutes. We'll say 2.5 hours essentially of the final Jurassic World movie and the Jurassic Park franchise. The first 6 movies at least. Guys, initial thoughts. Good, bad, too long? Is it too much like the Batman?
Batman was too long.
I disagree. I thought
Batman
the
was
Batman was
just
good.
23 minutes too
Yeah, I
long.
thought Kels was good.
I loved the movie. It was just like 23, 24 minutes too long. Like, there were some things, like especially towards the end, that I was like, I was in the theater going, all right, okay. But, you know, if I loved Batman the way that I love Jurassic, I might not feel that way.
True.
As just like, yeah, I'll take a. I don't, dude. You could just keep the camera rolling, man. I'll sit there forever.
Yeah, I would
never
watch
leave.
a 3.5 hour Jurassic movie, but
Uh-huh.
no, I like. It's like you were saying, Asees, as far as like the choppiness and the editing and stuff. Like, I love Fallen Kingdom, but my main problem with that movie is the pacing is way too fast,
Right.
and the cuts and the editing, and so like I'm so excited for the space that this runtime can give moments and everything. So I'm so excited that it's this long.
Space is a good word because
That's a good point.
space is a good word that you use because it excites me because the word space I instantly associate with, okay, this means there's going to be more space of the movie for Grant and Ellie, and I'm all about it. Give me a 2.5 hour movie of just Grant and Ellie, and that's all I want. You know what? Give me the entire Jurassic Park 3 dinner sequence. I'm saying it now, putting it on the books, top grossing movie in the franchise. You give me that right now.
we gotta explain, you know, where they've been for the last 20 years. So
I want to hear every bit of dialogue that those two speak about for the next like 2 weeks of their lives. Because that's all I care about right now. It's Grant and Ellie, guys. Guys, we're getting Grant and Ellie. This is JP4 from when I was a kid, man. I'm so excited about that.
I know, like it's because we've seen so many like different versions and like variations of how they've all been with each other. But like, yeah, they like this is the first time the trio has been together since the first movie.
That's ridiculous.
And even in this, I mean, even in the third movie, Grant and Ellie had such a small interaction with each other, you know? So like every movie was like a solo journey, except for Ellie never got her own. You know, Jurassic Park 4 would have been such a cool
hopefully
kind
this
of,
one's kind of her journey.
Like it was Malcolm for Lost World, Grant for JP3. Had they made JP4, what a wonderful story that could have been for Ellie. But man, yeah, the original trio, and you know, we've already seen some interaction briefly with how they are with the new squad. But I mean, 2.5 hours, it's going to be, excuse me, a little bit of recharacter introduction, but also like there. I mean, we're getting biosin. We're getting everything that we've wanted basically out of the entire Jurassic franchise thrown into this mix.
Yep.
So I bet I wouldn't be surprised if it's, like we learn how much, again, going back to Batman, Matt Reeves, how much he filmed
Right.
for Batman, but what was actually made. So I'm curious what they actually filmed, because that would be
Do
amazing.
you think that we know, like Sam Neill has on record been saying that they filmed 6 hours or whatever he said? Obviously not 6 hours, but kind of insinuate that they filmed a lot. Like there's a lot of meat that they filmed. Do you guys think that we'll kind of see some of these deleted scenes, or maybe some sort of like extended cut, director's cut kind of thing? Because we know they were also testing the movie at a longer runtime from
Mm-hmm.
what we ended up getting right now cut down. So do you guys think we'll see kind of an extended cut or some sort of deleted scenes, a la the Lost World, kind of little moments here and there that kind of emphasize character, but at the end of the day, ultimately expendable?
I think it's possible. I don't know. That's not something that's super common to get on Jurassic discs,
That's the issue, isn't
unfortunately.
it?
But like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe Universal knows that people want that, or maybe like Colin is able to convince somebody to let him put extra stuff on the disc, which would be amazing. So
I mean, this is a celebration of the franchise, and it really does. The way that they're marketing the movie does feel like a celebration of not only four,
exactly.
five, and six, but all the movies, all six movies. So we would kind of hope that maybe they'll release some sort of 6 disc pack after the fools like me who bought the 5 disc pack for some reason. I don't know why. But maybe the 6 disc pad will have like a seventh disc with a bunch of bonus things, kind of like how they did with the Blu-ray when they released like Return to Jurassic Park and that 6-part documentary.
Mm-hmm.
That was a
Mm-hmm.
very cool thing that they shot specifically for the Blu-ray. So maybe kind of at the end of the day they might do something like that. But Caleb, what are your thoughts about the runtime? Like overall, you're pretty happy. It seems like the issue of kind of the pacing might be alleviated as you mentioned. But overall, like with this, what's the thing that you hope to spend the most time on? Like, I know for me it's Grant and Ellie. I'm sure for other people it's dinosaur things and maybe some action scenes. But for you, what's like the major thing that you really want to see used up in this time here?
I was gonna say like Trevorrow has said multiple times about how this is the movie that he wanted to make,
Yeah,
and that really excites me just because back around like Jurassic World and stuff, he was like sharing pictures of the East Dock sign, and people were
yes,
talking about the Barbasol can and all this stuff, and like that hasn't ever really come up yet. So like I feel like we like World and Fallen Kingdom have sort of been like building towards this to now this film that he's wanted to make this whole time. So like I don't know. I hope runtime is used to sort of like give value and purpose to why the legacy characters are in the movie, and to
for sure,
like
yeah,
make make the audience really appreciate them and understand them. But also like the other thing I would say is like something that Jurassic Park and the Lost World do really well is like establish the location of the island that we're on, and really sort of show you a bunch of different places on it, and just really get you in that place. And so I hope there is location establishment, let's put it that way, like whether it's
sure.
wherever Biosyn is, or if we're showing something on Isla Nublar to give reason for something else. Like let's enjoy these
Mm-hmm.
locations, because like the the shots we've seen so far are like the cinematography looks great, and like I
Yeah,
can't wait to see
Mm-hmm.
the longer versions of
the
everything in the full film.
extended version
Yeah.
of these shots. Yeah,
So yeah.
it's funny. How funny would it be?
The
Because you got me thinking, Caleb. I've never thought about this before, but the way you kind of like phrased it, it's like you said that he filmed the East Dock sign. Always talks about the cryo can and things like that. What are the chances he's already filmed things for Jurassic World 3, knowing where this is going to end up? Because they've kind of had the roadmap for a while in their head, you'd imagine. What are the chances like we see that East Dock sign from 2015, 2014 kind of come into play now? Because we might be getting flashbacks as we kind of seen with like the Isla Sorna stuff.
Yeah.
What are the chances? I don't know.
I don't know. That would be awesome though.
That's like full circle, guys, coming full circle from that fun tweet.
I feel like that's probably going to be more answered now that we know this, in Cretaceous.
Camp. Oh yes.
At least in terms, well, with like the Barbasol can, because the East Dock sign, that's such a Nublar reference, and Nublar has now been blown to shit. So it's like I don't I don't necessarily know. I mean, because like remember with Jurassic World, and this still like tugs at me a little bit because it never ended up happening. But like remember how there was like always this talk of the restricted
Oh
zone.
yes.
Yeah.
And so like there was allusion to that, like the East Dock sign and everything that was basically like the Jurassic Park. And like we kind of found that out, that like when they found the old visitor center, that there's like this there's this side of the park that's not really, but like I think that's all it was, like, and that's all it ever will be. Like, hey, we're making a reference to the OG, just so you guys know. Like, so here's a picture of the East Dock sign to give you guys proof, even though it never like showed up on
Sure.
film. But with this one, it's like, and like you mentioned it with Bison, like Bison, I don't think has ever been technically mentioned in the films, only
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
books. So
Never
like
never name dropped.
it's it's going to be like so much introduction as to like, but you're absolutely right. Like people are going to be like, who the hell's Bison? Like, what do they have to do with anything? Oh, they were the people
They're the
who
can
hired,
guys.
and like all it's going to take is for Dodson, the actor who's playing him now, to mention, yeah, we tried working this out with Nedry 25 years ago, and that didn't turn out so well, and we never heard back from him, or something like that. And that's going to be
Well,
the
that's kind
only
of cool.
reference that we hear, that you're going to go, oh, or they don't even mention it at all, because they mention this is Dotson, and then you're like, oh, Dotson, the guy that met with
Yeah, no one
Nedry
cares.
way
Yeah,
back
yeah.
in the first one. Like, they may not even mention that, but they might do some sort of subtle reminder that's like, hey, yeah, well, last I saw Nedry, we were talking in Costa Rica, and he was putting shaving cream on my pie. So some sort of reference like that would
I
be
kind of
pretty
almost don't
funny.
even want to see it. I
Like,
kind of want to have what you just said. Like that sounds kind of cool. Like, oh, why is Biosyn making dinosaurs? Oh, because they tried once and didn't work, so
yeah,
try a different
and,
approach now. And
I
that one worked.
and it could be something that they're like, we've made so many advancements now that we could have made 25 years ago had Nedry come through on his thing. Like,
Yeah.
but so like that, they might make this thing. You're gonna go, oh, okay, cool. That's how
I
everything's connected.
I
Yeah,
think
that's cool.
like, and maybe it's wishful thinking, but like with all of the accidental sharing of the Barbasol can a few months ago about being on the set and all of that, and like Barbasol releasing all of these cans, and one of them like that you can buy in stores, and one of them is
Yes.
like all mangled as if it's the old one, and like um I won't say too much about this just in case anyone doesn't want spoilers, but like, I mean, it was at least 6 months ago. There was sort of a lesser known actor here in Hollywood who was doing like a stand up show. And he sort of, and again, this might be wishful thinking, but he sort of fit the physique of Nedry. And so like people started speculating, and I had a couple friends at this show, and they came and told me, they were like, yeah, this guy said that he was in, like, he just got back from shooting Jurassic World. And this was like, I mean, it was more than 6 months ago, obviously, if he was shooting Jurassic World. But like, yeah, so it's just the weird things like that make me think
Interesting.
that,
I never heard that.
yeah, that it's the weird things like that
Mm.
make me think that maybe they're going to do some sort of little flashback to connect Dodgson to something, or connect Wu to something, or something like that. But like, I don't
Where
know.
there's smoke, there's
And
fire.
the extra runtime, like, if we were getting a normal like 2 hours and 8 minutes Jurassic movie, like maybe we couldn't fit a flashback in there, or
Sure.
some sort of connection in there. But like, we've got 20 extra minutes, so like maybe that is a connection somehow, that they show us like Isla. We get the location stamp of Isla Nublar in 1993 or something. But I don't
I
know.
got chills just thinking about 1993. Dude. I love
It would be. I mean,
like just
maybe
going
it's
home
wishful
takes.
thinking. I don't know. I would love to see it, but I don't know.
It's a good point. That we only need a minute. Colin Trevorrow, it's not too late. You can go back, hire this guy, get this guy that Caleb was talking about, and film that flashback. Give it to me, please. That's all I ask. But speaking of footage, guys, there was a new featurette as well. Not too much. It's more of kind of a behind the scenes with like the legacy actors and the new hosts, the new group, kind of speaking about the impact of Jurassic, kind of things you've kind of already heard before, but like still very cool to see people talk about it. Kind of why they're coming back, things like that. But at the end of it, we did see a lot of new footage, like 30 seconds worth of almost new footage. And within that footage, like we've already spoken about, we've seen the Giganotosaurus potentially, the model, like the animatronic of it, and some more scenes of like Grant and Ellie and some face shots, establishing shots. Overall, guys, what are your thoughts about the new little footage?
You
I
first.
thought the featurette was great. I loved that they emphasized like the experience of making the first film so much and showed the animatronic and all of that. And what I sort of got from that featurette as far as Dominion goes is like the Giganotosaurus animatronic at the end is what stood out, obviously, and like I something I enjoy about like film marketing is like getting a sense of the visual sort of tone of the whole thing and like how are we gonna what's the lighting gonna be like, what's the environment of this film gonna be like, and seems to me like we're gonna have a lot of different sort of visual palettes. Like we're gonna be in the snow, we're gonna be in the jungle, we're gonna be seems like a lot of it is gonna be in like a lab running around. That was a bit of new footage that was fun. Was like Alan and Ellie and Maisie like in lab coats running through
Yeah, that's
Biosyn.
Hmm.
it is strange. I didn't expect to
And I
see
was
that
like,
type of thing.
oh,
But
okay, we're
great.
on like a secret mission where we steal the stormtroopers. Like it's sort of like
Yeah,
like we're
very
sneaking
Star
behind the
Warsy.
scenes in Biosyn or something.
Oh,
I thought that was
I
cool.
didn't think about that.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like I enjoy all of the different visual like palettes we're gonna get with Dominion, and like this gave us more of that. So
So a lot of flavors, definitely a lot
Yeah.
of flavors. I
yeah,
forgot to
yeah.
mention, guys, we totally forgot about the still that they released too. We'll put this in with the featurette, like the still of Ellie and Alan in some sort of Department of Fish and Wildlife Center with that little baby in Pseudoceratops. Like,
Oh yeah,
come
yeah,
on, that's the cutest thing I've ever
Yeah.
seen, guys. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
yeah.
Ellie salad
Such a
pooping
nice
and
reference
in a
to the
Pseudoceratops. That's amazing.
Triceratops.
Someone pointed out with
Yeah.
that still that like with the fence in the background and the the cage and the crate and all that stuff that it I don't know, like something about those gray fences and the wires and stuff just feels very Jurassic Park, and I enjoyed
They
that.
really
So
did nail it. Like it does feel very Jurassic
Yeah.
Park, and even kind of feels like Jurassic World Evolution, like
hmm
the story campaign. Very
Yeah.
good job, like keeping the two universes kind of connected. It's nice continuity there.
Ryan, what did you think about the featurette?
It was cool. It, I think with what we've seen so far, like both, like even with like the first clip that we got, like hopefully we haven't seen a whole lot from the film, and especially if it's 2.5 hours long, like collectively we haven't seen a lot. I didn't think about the fact that they were like incognito and biased, and I was like, why are you guys in lab coats? um, so that got my brain swirling for a second, but I think I'm really excited to see my boy Daddy Jeff
Daddy Jeff, Daddy
back.
G.
Absolutely.
I was telling I think I was telling Caleb this um, in a chat group that like I have a feeling
Don't say it.
Malcolm
Don't
might
say
go.
it.
I have a feeling he might go
Damn it.
down. I think he
Off this line
might
of
go
thought.
Han Solo style, and because like there's that one image of him
That
doing
little
that his little
cowering thing
creep,
in
his
front of
little
the Guggenheim.
his
Yeah.
little cower thing, and it's like everybody's crowded behind the vehicle, but then there's
He's not
Jeff,
gonna go
and
out
he's doing
cowering though.
his
He's gonna
little
go out in a blaze of
Chris
like
you
Chris
shit
know,
called it
glory.
but like it's
a Scooby Doo creep.
Yeah,
yeah, his little
kind of like sneaking off.
how he does with his hands now. But it's Malcolm was the first to get out of the vehicle with the flare to distract and save the others, right? So like, what if he does it again? But this time he actually does bite the dust. Because he was so lucky the first time just with a broken leg. So I don't know. I'm like killed
I
Daddy
hate
Jeff.
that you put this in the movie.
Um,
Get
I
this
It
out of
could
here.
happen, but
I don't want
could
that to
happen.
happen, but like part of me is also
But I could
like,
see it though.
yeah,
I
I
could
mean,
see it.
I could
That's the
see,
bad part.
it would give stakes to what's going on.
Like 6 people, and they all live. 6 key characters, right? Maisie's a
Oh,
key character
100%.
now, considerably.
Absolutely should have made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean, considering her significance too. So I mean,
So you
like, I
think
don't
so
know,
you did have to kill
but
at least one. You think Jeff would be the one to die?
I think if anybody's gonna go, it's Jeff.
Oh no.
I don't know.
So let
I
me
don't
let me
know.
tell you, like, I do not, I love Malcolm. I don't want him to die, just to be clear.
Put some
But
good news into our hearts killed.
I'm not going to. I'm sorry. um, like, to be clear, I don't want Goldblum to die. I love Malcolm, but the still, or there was some still somewhere that came out that makes me worried, and Malcolm is not in it.
Hmm?
And
Oh right, yeah, that one.
but everyone, it's the Giganotosaurus moment, and like everyone is there against the car, and like Ellie looks scared, and Alan is holding her, and Malcolm is nowhere to be seen. So it's
How have I
like,
not seen this image?
Hmm.
I'll try to find it.
Yeah, that's what I got it from too.
I'll try to find it and send it to you guys. But like, yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah,
Hmm.
Well, here's the thing. I've
Hmm.
been noticing that too in terms of one other character, not Jeff G, but I think his name is Ramses,
oh yeah,
Cole
yeah, yeah,
Ramses or something. But my played by Mahamudu Adi, I think.
yeah.
He's not in a lot of the screenshots, but he plays a relatively prominent role, we believe, right? Biosyn employee. I'm just gonna chalk up to the fact that, you know what, Jeff Goldblum's wherever that guy is, probably some control room or something. Jeff G is safe from danger, no problem. End of
I'm
story.
I'm with you, Aziz.
Safe.
I will make that pledge with you.
Yes, Ryan, you're a bad person for putting bad thoughts out into the
Well,
universe.
no. I mean, like it's like Jeff or Malcolm does this every
Yeah,
effing
yeah.
time. Like he does it in the first movie with the flare, and then when the Raptors come into the compound, he's hey,
Oh,
look at
so he
me.
sacrifices
That's Jeff.
himself again.
So like
Yeah.
like doing so like Jeff's always like, or Malcolm's always trying to save the others by like diverting the attention to himself without really quite maybe thinking about what he's doing. So I don't know. And like, here's the other thing too. Like in the preview, when both Pratt or Owen and Grant both say "don't move," like, are we confident that the Giga is also like the T Rex and can't
I
see
think they're
you
gonna
if
play it
we
off as a
don't move?
joke.
So it's
I
like,
think he's gonna like probably lunge at him the next scene or something.
or hear me out. They only show the Giga in that scene, but guess what? Who's going to come rescue them?
The
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
Always.
Don't move. That's where the don't move comes
Oh
in.
wow, you guys are literally thinking on a different level today. This is something special, guys.
I mean,
Episode
you're
101,
and
you
then
guys are
you're
witnessing something. This is
you're
crazy.
so correct though, Ryan. Like, that's very accurate. So
like, it
That's so
could
true
be
though.
so Rexy comes in, and then they're like, oh god, it's that surprise that, like, the same look that, like, when the Raptors are about to kill him in the first, Rexy comes in, Grant's got that astonished, like, oh, look on his face, and so it's gonna be like, here comes Giga, and then Rexy from wherever, and they're like, don't move. Rexy and Giga then battle it out. So what's Malcolm doing? Probably trying to uh probably, dude, if they do some sort of reenactment of him like having radio troubles again, like, I'm trying to reach, like, no, Maro del Prada, man, like, if he does something like that, man, that would be funny. What I want to know is because, like, um I haven't even asked Chris, like, it's so funny because, like, it's like we all talk all the time, and it's like, and like things happen so weirdly and quickly sometimes, like he just falls into things naturally, or Jack falls into things naturally, like with the whole Beyond the Gate series thing, that everybody's just kind of found these roles, and I've just been like, awesome, of course you
It
are,
just
of
makes
course
sense.
you
Yeah,
are,
it
like,
just makes sense.
awesome,
Like,
of
oh
course,
yeah,
yeah, it
obviously.
makes sense. But like, I don't know, a few years ago, like, and like all you guys are like really good friends to me. So like a few years ago, I would have been like, whoa, how did that come about? But like with my own like, and not to sound, but like with my own experience, like, sometimes like cool things just happen, and then you just like roll with it, and then you kind of like forget how the whole process
sure.
happened. And so I haven't even asked Chris, like, technically how the whole Beyond the Gates thing happened. But for your case, so you've been doing like the composing. You're the music
Mm-hmm.
man for us and for the Beyond the Gates. So when you're listening to all of that fun stuff with the toys and everything you're hearing musically, melodically, wonderfully in your ears is being made by Caleb. So like, how did that fall into place?
So I was at Josh and Jennifer Tarrick's wedding in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in, I guess, yeah, it was June 2019, and Jack and Chris were were groomsmen, a part of Josh's groom party, and that was the first time I met both of them in person, which was awesome. And I just remember Jack and I started talking about Jurassic soundtracks, and he asked me the question, like, if you had to rank Jurassic Park and The Lost World, just those two scores, like 1, 2, like how would you rank them?
Great question.
Well, especially Jack, because he loves The Lost World. But
Right.
no, so what my answer was something like, I always say I love my children equally, because these scores in these movies are so important to me. But like, so
Great answer.
if Jurassic Park is like 100 perfect score, The Lost World is like, if I can't rank them equally, like The Lost World is like 99.9999, like it's right next to it, like, and it goes back and forth like between those two, because growing up I liked The Lost World more than Jurassic Park. So anyway, like, Jack and I ended up having that conversation about music for like 20 or 30 minutes, and that connection was just sort of made. And then after that was when I composed music for InGeneral, the podcast, and which was like a long work in progress. And then like a few months after that, it was like one day I got a Facebook message from Jack and Chris that was like, "Hey, we've got this project going with Universal. Can't share too many details yet, but like, we were wondering if you would want to create music for us for this. It's a Jurassic thing." I think that's all they said was like, "It's a Jurassic thing."
That's all you got to hear sometimes.
I was like, and another fun part of the story is that at the time I was like, I had been pretty busy with like music projects, and I was like ready to take a break, like for a month or two or something. And I got that message from Jack and Chris, and I was like, I can't say, I'm not gonna say no to this. Like, I would never say no to that. So so I mean, and it grew from there. Like, I'm a collector of Jurassic toys and merchandise, so like it's a dream come true to like get to write music for something like this. And so that's how it happened. The music in the first season, the thing that has continued through both seasons is that sort of like fanfare you hear at the end of every episode. That I came up with that pretty early on and sent it to Jack and Chris, and they were like, "Yes, this is exactly what it needs to be." And then as far as the music for the first season goes, it was like Chris, we were sort of talking about what they might want, and Chris said something like, think about Jurassic lo-fi. And I was like
nice.
Okay, so like the music in the first season is sort of like this lo-fi beat with Jurassic instruments that you're used to, like strings and brass and stuff, like in an orchestra, that make it feel Jurassic but still sort of modern. And then this second season, like, the music is completely different. I feel like you still have that fanfare thing that you hear at the end of every episode, but then I sort of I had an idea of sort of what toys and sets were coming and what movies they were from, and so I wanted to
Nice.
the track that we've used in these first 4 episodes that have come out of this season so far, like, definitely are like Lost World score inspired. I wanted something
Nice.
with drums and lots of brass that just fit right into that world. And so yeah, I wrote that track like before I had seen any like footage or anything. I just sort of Jurassic music vomited, and there it is. And then what's cool about this second season is like when the episodes come around and like they've got a final cut or something, like there are moments in the episode that are like footage from the Lost World or footage from Jurassic Park or something like that. And so what's cool this time is that I get to like go in after the fact and add little musical things that sort of sound like the Lost World or sound like they would be in Jurassic Park. And so yeah, it's been so much fun. It's been great. So
That's awesome.
It
Dude.
sounds
Yeah.
like you really get a chance to
That
like
sounds
flex
so
your
cool.
creativity muscles inside the realm of Jurassic Park, which I think Ryan, you've also got a chance
Yeah,
to do, which
exactly.
is it seems like a very cool thing. It's and your music honestly fits the episodes really well.
thank you.
I think it's probably one of the best parts. Honestly, your stuff is great. We love your
Mhm.
stuff. Like obviously, we use your stuff on the pod. We love it.
Yeah,
But yeah, but
thank
speaking
you.
of behind the
Yeah,
gates, sorry, go ahead, Caleb.
Oh no, I was just saying thank both of you. Like your kind words about the music mean a lot to me. So
For sure, it's good
yeah,
stuff. For
dude,
sure.
it's good. Why aren't you doing like your own? Because I'm, and forgive me if I'm only just noticing this, but like, haven't you also just been doing your own reviews lately as well?
I've started up my own YouTube channel called Jurassic Caleb.
Go subscribe.
So yeah, go hit subscribe on that on YouTube if you want. I've been getting all the new Dominion toys and merchandise and stuff. I unboxed and reviewed those awesome shoes that Reebok did for Jurassic Park and stuff. So
Yeah.
I've been doing that. And then the other thing I should mention is the other series that Jack and Chris are doing for Big W in Australia, which is Jurassic
Right.
World Revealed. And I've also been
Mm.
doing the music for that. So yeah.
Dope.
He's a staple of the tree. He's a trio. He's a part of the trio now.
You're
Part of the trio.
a global phenomenon, is what he
Heck
is.
yeah. Australia, America, Canada next, guys. Come on, we got some cool Jurassic Park stuff over here, too. Speaking of Jurassic Park merch and Behind the Gates, as you mentioned before, you did a lot of Lost World stuff. Guys, the newest figure and revealed by the Behind the Gates guys. You guys revealed Sarah Harding. Guys,
Yes.
Sarah.
dude, I don't know how many Sarahs are on this,
Sarah
but it's about to
Harding!
be a Sarah Harding
How
figure
many-
on that shelf in my house, dude.
How many
That's what I
Sarahs do
know.
you think
That's what
are
I
on
know.
this island?
Wow.
um,
Caleb, did you have any pre existing knowledge of this before it was revealed to the rest of us?
I see the cuts of the episodes.
Yes.
Yes, and
How much did you three fanboy and fangirl over the fact that this was coming out and you guys had to hide this from the rest of us, which is a
listen,
very cool figure,
thi-
let's be honest.
this set very well might be like my favorite set of any of the Beyond the Gates sets that they've done. Like,
Really nice.
I think Mattel's Stegosaurus is really nice, and like I love the Lost World and Sarah Harding, and to finally get like a baby Stegosaurus after we've had all these adult Stegosaurus toys,
Right.
like that's super cool. And then
Yeah,
like
babies are so cute. I think that's cool that he thinks that that's the best one out of the bunch. I appreciate what Mattel is doing, uh, but there's for me, I just harken back to Kenner so much, back to '93, because of that real
Oh,
dino skin,
keep
whatever, or whatever, or whatever they call it, like
Real feel
the
skin.
dino, dude, evil raiders, dude, that's a subgroup of Jurassic Park toys that's like on its, oh dude, that's a nice grab
Yeah.
right there.
It's real feel
But no,
skin,
what
I
is
think it
what am I
was.
yeah, real feels,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever
The
that's called.
rubbery material.
And like I would love to, I mean, people my age, I'm in my 30s,
We're all the same age, Ryan.
people
What are
my
you
age
talking
would
about?
like, yeah,
I'm almost 30, dude.
like people would know, harken back to then, like if they can remember
Yeah.
that, like, if you have that, if you have your original Rexy toy,
That's what I'm looking for, yeah.
God, dude, like I love cuddling with her still, like, and luckily mine, like I've seen some pictures of like the Rexy toy and like where the skin and the rubber is falling apart after so many years. Mine is still in like pristine
Mine
condition.
lost an
and I'm
arm.
so thankful for that. But like the way that real skin feels is so nice. And I like, and when Caleb was talking about the Stego, I remember the original JP Stego Kenner toy. Green, had some colorations in it, was fairly
Very
big.
cute.
Had that like soft kind of green, again, like real. What would you call it? The real
right?
Dino
I
skin,
think it was
real Dino,
Real
feel or
feel,
something
yeah.
like that. And then there was like real feel, and then there was and then they had their little Dino damage piece that like you could pop on and off.
Dino damage.
But if yeah, exactly, man. If Mattel could get back into the real feel skin,
I thought the Mosasaur was kind of close.
because that
I was gonna say the Mosasaurus was cool that they did that with, but yeah.
Yeah, I like the Mosasaur.
does it, I never.
It's
I
a rubbery
haven't
kind
even
of
touched
thing,
that, but
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, like, for me, I love the like the well, and even Kenner. Like there's something about the Kenner design, like if you look at Rexy, she doesn't quite look like the toy doesn't quite look
Yeah.
like the movie counterpart, but there's something that makes it look so cool. Like I don't know, I didn't care then, I don't care now. But like with the new movies, like there's a better articulate, like when you see the molds of them before they're painted, like they look almost spot on to like the actual maquettes and
They do.
animatronics or whatever. But it's when the paint gets thrown on and you have that hard plastic feel. For me, it's like it's kind of a hard no, and so it's been the biggest drawback for me in terms of collecting. But if they like made a little line, like I love that they're doing like their little like the legacy figures,
The
and
Hammond
the Hammond
collection,
collection. So
yeah.
if they did like a Kenner, like a Kenner Harkin, like a Kenner throwback, my money would be there for sure.
Yeah. No, the other thing.
So sorry, Caleb, you were talking about the.
Babies are cute.
Oh
Stegos.
yeah. No, the other
They
thing
were
about
cute.
the Sarah Harding set is like the package is also so cool.
Yes,
like the-
it's such
the-
a that's an awesome thing.
It's
The
such
attention
a
to detail.
such a cool touch. Yeah, for sure. So
I almost don't even want to kind of open it. Like I kind of want to have two versions of it because I want to have one with just the outside box, the trailers, and then the one with the actual stuff unboxed beside it. Kind of.
I'm gonna have to splurge and like buy two, so I can keep one in the box. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say, like,
Would you guys like?
go ahead, Ryan.
Would you guys like to see like a new, if they did like a Lost World line, but like a new, almost like Hasbro does sometimes with like their vintage collection, where they do like kind of like a new modernized version of it. But like, would you guys like to see a new trailer?
Oh yeah.
Trailers,
I would love
I
a
think
trailer
at this
set.
point,
like
you can put out literally anything that's classic Jurassic at this point, or like an emulation of, like if like you said, like a modern version of the trailer. I think you put anything out, I'm buying it. At this point, like it's too late for me. I'm too far gone. Like I'm buying.
Same
it.
here.
Yeah.
those in the Mercedes Jungle Explorer, whatever they were in the
Okay.
Lost Worlds. That was something that was like never really. I don't other than like little Hot Wheels
Yeah.
or something. I don't remember ever seeing like they made the Explorer version for the JP toy. That was fairly big. They had the Jeep.
I think there may have been
But there was
one
never, like, really a
Lost World toy that was like that. I think there may have been one.
I think back in the day,
there a Lost
I think
World
back in the
Mercedes?
day they did the Mercedes, but
Yeah.
like they haven't done it since then.
That was like a fairly good
Yeah.
size. Like you could put
Yeah,
Like, it
like,
was
yeah.
a playable,
figure.
a playable
Okay.
set thing. I think it came with one of the
Man.
guys,
Did I?
Roland or something or other.
Maybe I just didn't have that toy, but I would love to like see something like that again. Because those little things I would love to have. Those are the things I would love to have up on my shelf, like when I'm collecting now in like my 30s. Because right now, like I look at Caleb's collection in the back, and I'm like, I would love to have that, but my 4-year-old would destroy that in 30 minutes. So like, especially with what I collect, I have to kind of think about that. But and I'm pretty particular now in what I'm choosing. But man, 8-year-old me, if I could see the toys that Mattel is making now,
It's too much.
It's
I think
every
that
dream.
Yeah,
It's
8-year-old
everything
version
that
of
I
ourselves
wanted.
wouldn't be able to handle it, my friend. I think it'd be too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
The
yeah,
Brachiosaurus
there's 6
especially
movies now.
I wanted it so bad as a kid. I was like, please make a Brachiosaurus toy. Please make a Brachiosaurus toy. And it's not even my favorite dinosaur. I wanted to have something.
It's a-
that
What
was
a
like,
strange one.
It's a
Huge,
I
right?
mean, that's like the iconic classic moment from Jurassic Park 2 is the Brachiosaurus. So
right. And like I just wanted a toy to cuddle with at night. And they made it 30 years later. So, whatever. But that's exactly what I wanted was that.
Big
maybe with real
Brachiosaur.
feel skin.
I understand. I get it. I feel that. I feel that.
Real feel skin.
It's getting to the time of the episode, guys, where I don't know about you guys. This is my favorite part. I'm just gonna say it. It's questions.
Yes.
You know, I love questions. We can go crazy with questions, but there's some select ones I want to do. This one is This is something Jack actually replied to already. This is from Siaka Diab. What is something the Jurassic films should never do? And Jack's already responded saying, "God damn it, wish I was in this one." And guys, I would have so many questions of what Jack has to say after this. We'll have to ask him one of these days.
Wait. I want to make sure. Did you even ask? Does Jack know that we're even
Yes.
doing this?
Yeah,
Okay.
he knows. He was like, I wish I was on this one. Yeah. So, but guys, what's something the
okay.
Jurassic films should never do?
I know exactly what it would be, but
Well, let's hear it.
I'm
What are you
glad I
talking
had a
about?
second.
Yeah,
Keep
I'm
it-
still thinking. So
well,
go ahead.
Yeah, I love this.
It's more because it almost happened, and I'm thankful that it didn't. So, with the sales script and everything, we know that there were possibilities of the human hybrids. Absolutely, don't go there. Like the hybrids of other dinosaurs combined, totally. I mean, obviously, we've been there. Like that worked, and I'm okay with it. I don't have anything wrong with the hybrids of how they cross genetic the different dinosaur species. But when you combine a human in there, I'm sorry, you've lost me. Like that takes the whole wonder and element of what makes Jurassic, which is the connection to dinosaurs, out of the picture. So for me, it's that.
That was my first thought, was the sales script and all of that. The dino human hybrids, like I agree with that. Like, and I say that as someone who loves all the Maisie stuff. I think all the Maisie being a clone stuff is very cool, but like dino human hybrids, like let's not go there.
Yeah.
So my unique answer to that question is the thing that Jurassic should never do is cross over with Fast and Furious.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
That is pretty good.
That is yes. That is a big yes.
And I say that as someone who enjoys the Fast and Furious movies.
Just
like, but we don't need the car. We don't need the car dino hybrid. We don't need that hybrid.
That's the next hybrid.
Yeah.
It's going to be the end of Dominion, and everyone survives, and Grant says something about we're family, and then all of a sudden Dom just comes out of the floor.
Our whole
You can
family
make
will protect
big
you.
You're
claims
like,
that Raptor's a good
no!
driver. If you put Dominic Toretto's DNA in a Velociraptor, I don't even think you need cars anymore, dude. It's fast. It's too fast to Raptor, man. We're done. Call Universal. Call me. I'm ready. I'm ready to write this movie for you. I'll give you the
So
script
funny.
tomorrow. But yeah, one thing I think Jurassic Park should never ever do though, or the franchise, never remake the first one. You just literally you can remake the other ones. The first movie is I think untouchable. I think it's not only a filmmaking masterpiece. I think it's a cultural icon and touchstone at this point. And I think those things are just better left untouched. Don't remake it. Leave that movie with its place in history and the effect it's already had. Leave it. Never go back to it. Let it be the beautiful masterpiece that it is. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Totally. The so that answers actually a couple questions, but there's another one that is for you, Aziz.
Oh no.
Jurassic Souls asks, also interested to hear specifically thoughts on how y'all think Dominion will tie to Jurassic Park Trace.
Initially,
Number 3, Aziz's favorite film of all
it's
time.
my favorite.
So
Jurassic Park
specifically,
franchise.
how do we think Dominion will tie to Jurassic Park 3? Well, Aziz,
I think the
how
answer
do you
is
think
like
that'll happen?
it's. You've already seen the answer. We've seen it, everyone. Alan Grant, we've
It's
seen
easy.
it. We're done. Enough of this. Give me some hard balls.
well,
No, but
yeah,
legitimately,
that's a-
the last
that's a
time
pretty-
like we've seen technically, as far as we know, Ellie and Alan. The last time they were talking about raptors, she just saved him from the raptor experience. Last time Grant seen a raptor were those JP3 raptors. Now he's about to encounter Beta and Blue and whatever Owen's doing with those dinosaurs. So, and now Pyroraptor, you might even see that. So there's a lot of raptor stuff. I think it's going to be the evolution of Grant and his relationship with raptors. I think that's what's going to be the big Jurassic Park 3 thing. And like the next thing, obviously, guys, like come on, We already seen the resonating chamber of the Velociraptor. Like, come on, guys, get on my level. Oh yeah, Kale's face is frozen, guys. We're having some technical difficulties on it.
We know with Jurassic Park 3 in the background, there, or in Dominion, in the background of his hut,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, tent that
Yeah,
Ellie's in, there's the resonating
yeah,
chamber,
yeah.
right? So we know that's in the
Yep.
background. Could be possible, like, I don't know how many character references that we're gonna get. Like, there's a lot of people who have asked, like, are we gonna see Tim? Are we gonna see Lex? Are we gonna see Billy? Are we
No,
gonna
I don't
see
think you'd see Billy.
um
Lex and Tim, maybe.
are we gonna see
Billy and like, all those extraneous
Ma-
characters from like the Lost World and JP3. No, I don't. I don't think so. It's that's too much fan
um
service at that point, in my opinion.
yeah, it would be a lot. It would be a lot. So uh specifically JP3, to answer that question, I don't know if there would be a whole lot, but yeah, I think what you answered is probably exactly on point. Like the evolution of the Raptors and Grant's relationship with that's kind of been his overall arc story, is his close specialty of Raptors. So yeah, how he I mean, and we're gonna get three different types that we know of Velociraptors. So we've got the blue, beta, the Atrociraptor, Raptor gang, squad, or whatever you want to
The
call
Raptor
them,
gang. I mean, they're
and then
tough.
the Pyroraptor. So um, yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see how that evolves. But I don't know if there's going to be much more beyond that. I don't know if we're going to get like a surprise
No, I don't
Spinosaurus
think I know people are
appearance,
still
but
holding out hope,
you
but I
know,
think at this point, if the Spinosaur were in it, I think we would have heard something
we'd
by now.
see. I think so too.
I think
So
the connection to Jurassic Park 3 is going to be something about, and again, I said this once before, but maybe this is wishful thinking, but like maybe there's something, some line, some visual thing about Isla Sorna. Like maybe there's
Yeah.
something about what was going
mm,
on there during that time with Wu or somebody else.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Caleb, what's your stance on the Spinosaur? I know for some reason the Spinosaur has been coming up a lot more on my Twitter feed for no reason other than me being a Jurassic Park 3 fan, probably. But do you
Right.
guys think they're like is there something that I'm missing? Is there some sort of smoke or like bits of rumors that are saying the Spinosaur is back other than maybe Camp Cretaceous?
I don't know. I don't know if people are pulling that from like. I mean, obviously, like people want that, and that would be cool, like
Right.
a rematch or whatever, that whole thing. But like, I don't know if people are pulling that from like the Fallen Kingdom concept art that had the Spinosaurus during the volcanic eruption and all that stuff, and then it got cut.
Okay.
But like, I mean, my thinking is that if the Spinosaur if the or a Spinosaurus shows up, like maybe Biosyn has one in their big preserve or something, like maybe. So, but I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, I don't mean to offend any Spinosaurus fans out there, but like I don't know how that would fit into the plot of Dominion. I don't know what the justification would be, but it would be
Again, it gets
cool.
dangerous, right? It gets dangerous. Yeah, it'd be cool, but it gets dangerous with some people being like, that's too much fan service at this point. We don't need to see every single dinosaur that's ever existed in the franchise, you know?
Sure, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Right.
that's the way I feel about it at this point, especially with us getting so many brand new ones. I don't think we have to retread dinosaurs at this point. Like, we got the Dilophosaurus. That's kind of all we really need. I want to see new things, push the franchise forward, as we've kind of mentioned a couple times
And
already. But guys, yeah, go ahead.
I know, I think that if you're gonna bring a dinosaur back that hasn't been around in forever, it's the Dilophosaurus. Because like
Right.
the
Yep.
non Jurassic fans that I talk to, they say, "Oh yeah, Jurassic Park. There's that spitting dinosaur who
Yeah.
gets Newman." Like they know the Dilophosaurus, so like it's a thing that people know, and so I think like
Mm-hmm.
that to me is like the best choice that they've made as far as bringing a dinosaur back. So
Hands down. I'm so excited that Dilophosaurus is back. So excited.
Some shots don't look good or whatever, but I don't care. Just give it to me. Give me all the shots. I want to see. I want to
and
see all the Dilophosaur. You
And
know,
to think about how a Dilophosaurus is gonna kill someone in this movie, like that's gonna
absolutely. You
happen.
gotta you gotta think it's gonna have a fun
So,
Nedry-esque death. Something
yep.
iconically, just as iconic. Sorry, as Nedry's death. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed. We don't have to wait much longer though, guys. Movie comes out June. We're almost there, guys. But before that, Generation Jurassic coming up on 28th of this month, April. I almost forgot what month it was. That would have been interesting.
We are in April.
Yeah, but guys, Outpost is hosting a panel. Chris will be there. He'll be hosting. Jack will be hosting as well. I'll be there. Ryan will be there. I'm forcing him to come. Caleb's gonna be there too. I think
Yep.
Samantha is gonna be there as well. So a lot of the Outpost fans gonna be there, guys. Come on down if you have ticks. If you have tickets, I'll edit that out. Ticks. I just talk weird now.
You have tickets.
So come on down, guys. Say hello to us. We'll have some fun time, and then hopefully, guys, there's always some Jurassic World Dominion stuff, and we'll just get hyped. But guys, thank you for joining me on this pod, episode 101. Hopefully, episode 102 will be a 0.5 episode. If you guys know what a 0.5 episode is, hit me up. Let me know if you want it. Ryan, thank you for joining me on this. Caleb, thank you.
Yeah.
I will see you guys
Thank
in
you.
LA in a couple of days.
All right.
Later.